So welcome to the Golden Stories. This is Tasha Frost, and today I have here my brother, my friend, Derick Ehla, and I'm gonna let him do all the talking so we can get to know him a bit better. But thank you guys for watching today. Tune in and make sure you subscribe if you've not subscribed already. Make sure you like, comment, and all that good stuff. And of course, share this video once you're done watching it. And Derick, if you want to say something real quick.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm grateful. Hi, everyone. I hope at the end of the session, I'll be a blessing. I'll be able to make a lot of impact in the lives of people by sharing my story and experiences, basically.
I've known you since, I don't know, I guess
Sunday school.
Yeah, it's been
teen
forever.
church.
Yeah, I think you grew up in
Yeah.
Glory Assemblies of God, basically.
Sure.
Yeah, so then
Glory,
we grew up together in the church.
Yeah.
So Derick, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into anything. There's more like a summary of who Derick basically is for those who don't know you. We'll get in depth later, but this is basically just a little summary of who you are, just so people can have a feel of you.
Yeah. All right. So my name is Derick. I'm a very young, energetic guy, very passionate about change and development. Somebody who believes that has a global influence in his time and generation. And I was born and raised in Ghana, Accra, but Abusoka is Zongo to be more specific. There are a lot of Zongos,
Okay.
so it depends. But the main Zongo in Accra, I know, is the one Abusoka is Zongo.
Okay.
Yeah, Nima is also considered Zongo, but the main Zongo I know is the Abusoka Zongo. So that's where I grew up. And then I had to join my dad at some point in Sakumono. So that was where also life began for me. So I have 3 siblings. I'm a twin, actually. Yeah, I'm a twin. He's around. he was not as loud as I was back in church. You know that. Yeah, he was always like the cool guy.
Wow.
I was always my siblings are married, so I guess everyone is waiting for us to.
I know. How is your sister, by the way?
I mean, she's doing great. I mean, they're all doing great.
I've been seeing you write, I'm the hero from Zongo. So I'm like, where is Zongo? Is it in somewhere in the North, Volta, whatever it is? But I'm glad you clarified that for a lot of people who don't know which main Zongo you were talking about. So give us a little bit of understanding when it comes to your background, how your childhood was like, your education. You lived in Sacramento. I know that because I lived there too. So I know you grew up there at some point, but what was it like being a child?
All right. So for me, I think it was, first of all, it was a blessing to be alive, actually. And growing up, I never lived under the same roof with both parents,
Okay.
Because my daddy was working somewhere and my mom too was somewhere else. So I grew up mainly and mostly with my mom in Zongo. So it wasn't easy, just imagine you live with a mother who's raising 3 strong guys. There were no certain privileges to enjoy.
Right.
And like, when you compare now, I think we can use Zongo and Sakumono. I mean, the differences are huge.
It's so huge.
Hey, that's life. That was where you were placed, but I had to survive. So I went to a French school anyway. So from nursery till JHS.
Because I know you spoke French.
Yeah.
I remember that part. Yeah.
Yeah. I read physics, I read geography, I read chemistry, everything in French, and they were running the O-level, A-level system.
Okay.
So I think I only completed, O-levels ordinarily, which is equivalent to SS3, JHS3 actually. So after my French school experience or education, I came to Sacramento to further my senior high school. That was when I went to Corpus Christi.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I read geography, French, economics, and elective maths. But I think I dropped elective maths at some point, So I remember back it wasn't good. I remember back in school, we're not considered as one of those smart guys, We're always like causing trouble and all of that,
Look at you now.
Yeah, it's good. So I read geography, economics, and French, and then first where I went to university, I read accounting, BSc accounting at University of Professional Studies, UPSA. So, but before then, before going to school, after school, usually senior high school, you want to read something, you want to work, or you want to do something. So between that time, I had to go back to school. I went to read diploma in French, advanced diploma in French again. So before I went to university. So I've read a few other postgraduate business courses and all of that. Yes, I've read a few. So I think basically yeah. For now, I think this is how my educational background has been. From the French school till now. But growing up wasn't easy. Like I said, it wasn't like I came from a very, 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 very good home. I remember my mom used to sell at Agbogbloshi. Agbogbloshi Market?
Yeah, I've been there. What was she
Yeah,
selling?
yeah. She used to sell dry fish for
Really?
shito. The fish we use for shito.
Yeah.
So she wake up very early at dawn to go to the market. One thing I like about my mom was that she was a very, very prayerful woman.
Okay.
Anytime before she left for work, she would lay her hands on us and then she would just declare, my children will be this, you know how women are, mothers.
I have that in my home, so it's a constant thing.
She made a lot of declarations about our lives, and today I'm not really surprised some of these declarations have manifested and all of that. It was not easy. It was not easy though, but the Lord has been faithful.
So what do you do right now?
So currently, by the grace of God, at least I've had the opportunity to work with some organizations. So like Google, I remember working with Google on a project, that was when I was in school, Google Trader. I don't know if you know about that. Yeah, so basically a platform where people, advertise their businesses, So I was privileged to be part of the team to work on that project. I also had the opportunity to work with Barclays, now APSA.
Okay.
I was there for a couple of months because, that was not actually where I wanted to be. I've had chances to work with Vodafone for a very short period and a few other organizations, the British charity organization called Latitude Global Volunteering. And last year was a year of return. So we had a lot of, Ghanaians or expats come to Ghana and all of that. So I saw the adverts, so I decided to reach out to volunteer, of course, again, volunteer. So they had a training. I went through the training successfully and I was selected to be part of the team. So I had the opportunity to serve under ticketing accreditation. So what I do, I was responsible for the VVIP tickets, and all of that. So you come and then you go through the process. They had a very serious security structure. So you go through the process and then you are giving your security, your accreditation and all of their tickets. So, and yeah, FIFA and all that. So I know I'll talk about them more.
Yeah, we're actually getting into it now, right? I know you went, you did volunteer. What year was that?
So that was in 2018.
The 2018. Was it, what FIFA?
Russia.
Okay.
Russia. FIFA 2018 World Cup in Russia.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get into that? Because I've never actually, I don't think I'm the only one, but then I don't think I've seen anybody volunteer from Ghana.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, that's very true.
So you are the first person in Ghana to volunteer.
Yeah.
How did you make that happen?
All right. First of all, I just say it's the grace of God, and secondly, I'm a very, very curious person. I like to look out for information and then opportunities. Where it fits my strength and capabilities. I capitalize on them. So I think this whole FIFA thing started from my passion. I have this passion for service. I have this passion for volunteering. Throughout my life, it's been volunteering. It's been service. So I think I had the opportunity to work with a British charity organization.
Okay.
And they came out with a program called ICS, International Development Service. It was funded by the British Prime Minister, but then David Cameron. So it was a program for young people, both Ghanaians and then people from the UK. So I took advantage of that program. So I became a team leader. Eventually, I became a project coordinator. In fact, I was awarded a certificate by him.
Okay.
So I have a certificate awarded, given me by the Prime Minister with his signature. So one thing led to another. I became an alumni president. They formed an alumni group, and then I was selected to become the alumni president.
Okay.
Of the whole volunteer thing. So people drop opportunities and all of that. So somebody dropped a FIFA opportunity, a FIFA website. So I went on FIFA, I checked, and there was a place where FIFA says he wants to become a volunteer. I clicked on it, and that was it. So I started going through the process. I filled the form. I was asked questions. They brought me questions, quizzes, and all of that. It took about 8 months to
Really?
finish the process. Yeah, yeah.
So is it still open? Is it still something that anybody out there could probably try out or?
Oh, sure, sure.
Okay.
So there's going to be a next World Cup in 2022 in Qatar.
Okay.
So I can share the link to anyone who is interested and who
Right.
would want to be part. So it's out there. Once you go on their website, if you can register your interest, and then in due course, they will get back to you, and then you can start the process. It was like a joke. I was just playing with it, and then eventually,
It worked
because I
out.
was the only Ghanaian, I was the only person from Ghana, you know.
And basically the first. I just want to stress
Of
on that.
course.
Yeah.
Basically the first.
Oh my gosh, that is so huge. Honestly, I saw
No.
your interviews on, was it TV3? What station was that?
Yeah, TV3, GH1, TV Africa, and Kwese TV. Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
hero
yeah.
from Zungo.
Yeah.
That is really awesome. That really is.
There's this thing about there's this perception people have about Zongo. That people feel that when you come from Zongo you are a deviant or that kind of thing. But there are great people from Zongo.
Good. That's really good. So tell me about Opulence Ties. I have seen Bukum Banku on his own new show wearing Opulence Ties, and I've seen pictures with you. How did all that happen, first of all?
All right, so for me, I always loved business. I've always loved business for me. And one thing about me is that I'm very, very selective when it comes to things. So sometimes you wear stuff and they tell you, oh, I like your shirts. I like your tie. I like your that. It's really nice. There's a place in Accra called Cantamanto. I know you know Cantamanto, can't?
I've been there. I've not been outside of Accra, but I've been to these markets. So
so where boys we normally go to do our selection, get very, very cheap stuff, bend down boutique and all of that. So I used to get my ties there. Anytime I wore a tie, everybody would be like, I like your tie. I like it. Can you get me some? And I'll go to Cantamanto. I'll go and do selection. I'll go either on Saturday or Wednesday. That's the market day. I'll go and do my selection. I bring it in. People will actually buy it. And it was very cheap. So I had to also consider class. Not everybody would like secondhand stuff. So I posted on my social media platform, my WhatsApp and all of that. And everyone's like, I want to tie. So I spoke to a friend, Evans, right?
Yeah.
Evans, I know you know Evans. Of course, they have a business. So I spoke to him, like, this is what I want to do. He encouraged me. He asked me to save. So I saved money and then I went back and I bought loads of ties. And today we are not where we want to be.
It's going to get there. It's always a process. For those who want to check it out, I will link that in the description so anybody can check his website out. His ties are on point. Whoever is taking your pictures is doing an amazing job. I was actually looking at your recent post on Instagram. Was it last night? And I was like, what is Derick doing? I don't wear ties, but like, it's so catchy, really colorful.
Thank you very much.
It's really nice. So now the one thing that you always talked to me about years back was this vision you had of starting a spoken word group or organization.
Poetry movement,
Right. And then I know we talked about logos and you started it and I'm still waiting for my t-shirt though.
You definitely get a t-shirt, don't worry.
So tell me about On Mic for Jesus. If anybody has seen OM4J Ghana, that's him right there. That's the founder. I know you have a whole new team with you, a huge one actually.
Very, very great team. Great guys, amazing guys. Yeah.
Primetime TV is awash with soap operas. And people define love or what is portrayed in these telenovelas. There will be fewer broken hearts if people could just sit and enjoy the heat of the fires they start. But then they kindle the fire of love and live like there was an emergency. I said, they kindle the fire of love and live like there was an emergency. Why would you stoke a fire you started and then detest the heat? Love stays. Love does not betray.
Yeah. So, but first of all, I just want to say thank you to you. You contributed hugely in starting this whole vision. You really, really contributed. You encouraged me, supported me. Even though when we started, a lot of people didn't know what spoken poetry was about. You encouraged me, you gave me the support. And right now, giving me your platform again. Thank you so much.
It's always going to be there. Don't worry.
Thank you. I'm grateful. So yeah, I was in, we're in church someday, myself, Francis, and a few other friends, Enoch.
Okay.
So it was a Saturday where we had gone to prepare the place for in service the following day, youth coordinator. And I saw Francis playing this video, a poetry by Jackie Hill.
Okay.
And it was amazing. It was something I'd never seen before. I fell in love with the art. I fell in love with the way he presented the gospel, but creatively, And that was when everything started. So I remember after school, I'll go to the internet cafe, watch videos of spoken word poetry. I couldn't sleep. Every time I remember after school, I'll go to a cafe. I'll spend about 6 hours in cafe. Remember, you had to pay, buy it, coupon, and all of that.
Yeah, do they still do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
People don't do that anymore. Yeah, so I'll spend hours and hours in the internet cafe just watching videos. And then one day I was praying and the Lord laid on my heart. He said, open mic for Jesus. Open mic for Jesus. Because I believe that in our time and age or in our generation, one of the easiest ways to reach out to young people is through spoken word poetry. So you can just think about this. If, for example, you go to church and the pastor is preaching a message, he's using 40 minutes to preach on sin. But you can just get a poet, a poet to touch on the same topic within 7 minutes, and it will make a lot of impact.
Right.
Especially in this time of where everyone is busy and all of that. Not everybody would want to sit down to listen to a sermon for about 40 minutes and all of that. So we have to find creative ways to engage our people with the gospel. And I believe that in our time, the most relevant medium is spoken word and poetry. So the Lord laid it on my heart. When we started, it didn't make sense. A lot of people, what is this?
It's not something done in
Ghana. Derek, you're wasting your time. What is this? I mean, it's not for serious people. But spoken word is actually for serious people. If you don't know the Bible, if you don't read the Bible, if you don't understand, you can't do poetry. If your English language is not on point, you can. So there's a lot of thought that goes into poetry. So jokingly, we launched it, we registered it, and I spoke to a few people who showed interest, who supported. Again, Francis, Evans, yourself, a few other great guys who came on board. They were like, Derick, let's do this. I have a great friend called Mauli. He came fully on board, and to date, is still around. Eventually, I had a few other people coming on board. I mean, I can't mention them. They are
a lot. I've seen it grow over the years.
And we started very small. And then by the grace of God, we've had about 3 international guest artists come already. And sometimes some of these days with no sponsorship, we had to raise funds ourselves, because we believe in what we are doing. We know that eventually people will get to accept it as it is an emerging culture in Ghana. So this year was supposed to be our 5th anniversary. We had an artist from the US, Gloria Omana.
Okay.
We had our flyers, everything. I was going to be like massive, and then Corona showed
up.
And then, Corona. I know Bible says that all things work together for our good. I believe that whatever happens, it's divine, it's God. And I believe that the years ahead is going to be greater. So yes, we are not relenting. Our vision is to create a global influence for Jesus Christ through art performances, specifically spoken word. And our mission is very straightforward. We're using spoken word poetry to push the gospel of Jesus. That's simply our mission. And OM4G has grown to other countries too. So by the grace of God, we have operations in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Kenya, and hopefully we shall have one in the US.
Are you getting as much support as you think you need? Like maybe if somebody wanted to sponsor, invest, anything like that, do you need that kind of help?
Of course. I mean, whether you like it or not, the gospel is very, very expensive.
Right.
I mean, if you don't have funds, you'll not be able to make the impact you want to make with the gospel. I mean, that's fact. So yes, of course, every time we'll need support, organizations who want to come on board, who want to help, who believe in our vision. We work with organizations, work with churches who believe in our vision to push the agenda. What's the vision? It is to preach the gospel of Jesus using spoken word and poetry. That is it. And in the past, we've had some organizations, we have some institutions, we've had some, I don't want to mention it, but we have some institutions come on board to support, But when we look at the impact we want to make, of course, we will need more support. And any individual or anybody who want to come and support, why not? Or to push the agenda of Jesus Christ, basically. Yeah.
Okay, so you have Derick Ehla,
Yeah,
who is already a full-time worker,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
then we have him also as a business, an entrepreneur. So you do
yeah.
have Opulence Ties, and then you have OM4J going
4J.
on. Right. So all these three, or maybe more on the side, which I'm probably not aware of, all these three, including your ministry, which you're doing, because I see you going hard for Christ. I see you out there evangelizing, and it's really, really, really inspiring and good to see. So
Thank you
how
very
are
much.
you putting all that together? How are you making it work?
I'd say it's just the grace of God. I mean, to be honest, sometimes I'm amazed myself. First of all, let me also use the opportunity to say a very big thank you to my father in Christ, Reverend Randy Pakusebidiako of Grace Citadel Church. At some point, I believe that training is very, very important. And service, like I said, at some point you have to serve. There are certain things that comes with service. There are certain learnings that come with service. If you don't serve, you will not receive them. And for me, I'm blessed enough to have been under him, to have learned so many things when it comes to ministry. I would say that my passion for evangelism sparked as a result of the teachings I received from him.
Right.
You give honor to whom honor is due. Of course, before I was very passionate about the things of God, but there's a way to go about the ministry.
Right.
You have to be taught. If you are not taught, you will not be able to do. And being under him, I've learned a lot. If you know him, he's a very passionate person when it comes to souls, evangelism. Okay. And then I believe that I received some teachings, very powerful teachings, wisdom from him, and it ignited my passion for souls. And God will give you grace. Bible is not about it's not about our strength. The race is not. You can't do everything or anything by yourself. You have to be enabled by God. So for me, I think it's a special grace upon me which I receive from God that makes me able to do so many things. So it's not because I plan very well. Of course, those things are all part. Yes, I plan, you strategize and all of that, but I'll attribute everything I've been able to do to God because you need that grace from God. Apart from God, honestly, you can't do it. Yeah.
Okay, so will that be your motivation?
I'm passionate about the things of God. I believe that everything we have, everything we see, everything going on is a platform or a medium through which we can use to push the agenda of Christ.
Right.
Whether be it sports, be it business, be it whatever it is. So for me, you realize that anything I find myself doing, I try to make sure that it is helping to push the agenda.
Right.
Maybe I've never told. There's this initiative I started. We're supposed to launch it during the event. Jama, Jama Imura.
Mm-hmm.
Jama, it's one amazing tool people have not really looked at. You know, one of the easiest tool we can use in our time to push the gospel. Remember back in school, in
I was just thinking about it. Into colleges where we used to shoot Jama and all that. But then some of these Jama songs we were using were actually gospel, but then more twisted and changed all around to make it sound fun to the youth. But I feel like maybe we should straighten it up a little bit now.
Exactly. So just imagine, even the very profane Jama we used to sing, there was this spirit, you charge and all of that. So just try to translate that into singing gospel songs. I've sat under administrations where people sing Jama and you literally feel the presence of God. So it's something we're about to introduce. Actually, there's a group, I have a group, called the Zulu Jama. I think Zulu Jama Choir. We're supposed to launch outdoor then during our day of event.
Okay.
But we still have plans, to come out. One of the things I'm looking at, and also using football as a tool. Football. So I'm very, very passionate about football. And just imagine inter-church football gala. Just imagine inter-denominations football gala. Using football as a tool to bring people together to push the gospel. You can imagine people play football for different causes. People play football to raise awareness about racism. Right. Peace, unity, and all of that. Why can't you also play football to raise awareness about the gospel? These are other areas I'm also looking at. Very soon we'll see stuff coming up. Yeah.
In trying to start a business, were you having any setbacks?
Well, somebody would consider a challenge. Another person would consider it.
Right.
For me, challenges inspire me. Challenges encourage me. Challenges pushes me to do more. So maybe in the perspective of it being considered a challenge, of course, I mean, whenever you're starting a business, first of all, you need somebody to believe in you, so that alone is if you don't get anybody to believe in you, that alone is a challenge. And this, I'm always grateful to God for my parents, especially my mom. Usually my mom doesn't really understand some of the things I do, but she'll tell you, if this is what you want to do, I support you,
Yeah.
And then my dad doesn't talk much. You go to him, this is what I want to do. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Okay, all right, cool. I'll support you. So that's alone. So if you don't have support, you don't have anybody to believe in you, I mean, that becomes very difficult. And also setting up structures, laying down foundation, I mean, marketing and all of that. I mean, but once you're able, every business is faced with such, or every business must have this phase, whether like all the big organizations, they have to go through this phase. So once you're aware that you have to go through this phase, then it becomes very normal to you. You psych yourself up for some of these experiences. As for challenges, they will come, but it depends on how you see them. I've had challenges. I don't like to call them challenges, but at the same time, they've helped me grow. Like especially when we started OM4J, I remember we went to a radio station, a Christian radio station. So we spoke to them about OM4J. Like the man was like, he's not interested in OM4J. He's not interested in this. He's a businessman. He doesn't see, and that alone could have discouraged us. We've had rejection.
That sounds painful to even hear.
Serious. I went to my other friend Maudi, and then when we came out of the studio, he was very angry. I was like, why are you angry? He has his money. He said he's not going to support, so that's it. But I told him one thing. I told him, Maudi, you know what? Someday they will come up with us. And truly, this event was supposed to have. They came after us, and they wanted to give us a free, airtime, like interview with our guests and all of that. So sometimes those rejections, they are good. It depends on how you see them. So challenges, it depends on how you see them.
Right.
It can be a positive for you or negative, however you see them. Basically, yeah.
So you definitely had some fear starting, because I know a lot of entrepreneurs have oh, would they even accept my product? Would they even support me? Will they share my post? What were your fears starting up?
All right. So I think because of how I grew up, and because of the kind of orientation I had, you can't intimidate me. I'm serious, like that. Because I believe that the worst thing you can tell me is no. It's like you proposing.
That's the worst, basically. You say no, you walk away. I move on to the next.
Lady, you meet a lady, there are two things. It's either she says yes or no. And apart from that, there's nothing else to lose. There's like also meeting somebody and sharing your ideas with the person, yes or no. Life goes on. Spoken word hasn't even gotten that ground where you would even start to think about bringing an international artist. Look at the cost involved.
Yeah.
Flights, hotel accommodation, internal travels, transportation and all of that. And it's not like I used to have a huge crowd attending my event and all of that. It's not like I had sponsorship and all of that. So it tells you the kind of faith I have. So for me, once I set out to do something,
you go for it.
I just go hard at it. But before I do that, so I pray to be very sure that that's what the Lord says I should do, and then I move. But see, you want to obey God than to obey man. Okay. You don't want to obey God.
You would say that the fact that you are making money on these businesses or from these businesses and being able to use that to support OM4J or whatever other form of ministry you might have was your sign that God said do it.
Exactly. Even beyond that, it was a burden. I needed to do something to raise money to support what I was doing. So God had to give me the idea of food. I never ever dreamed that I was going to start typing.
I didn't see that actually coming.
I love events. I love events and I love global events. Like FIFA. I like big events because that's where you get to learn. And I've always known that I'll do events for the rest of my life. But for business to come in, like this type of business coming all of a sudden, I should tell you that it was God. And I didn't just start off. When you look at my logo, you realize that it is written since 2015.
Okay.
Opulence Ties since 2015. But I actually started my operation just this year. Like my operation started just this year. Officially 4 months ago. So I started Opulence, like officially with website,
So
everything.
you've basically been planning for 4 years, putting
Exactly.
everything in place.
Exactly. And whilst I was waiting, God was giving me ideas. God was giving people my way. I was reading, I was researching, I was making contacts here and there and all of that. So when it was time for me to just move, I just moved. So you might think that you see all these things and you think that I started 3 or 4 months ago, but I started like 4 years ago.
Okay. And you actually got Bukumbanku to wear that. Please
Yeah.
tell me how you got you got Bukumbanku to wear your ties. That is huge for me, and honestly.
All right. So for me, like I said, I like challenges, and I am a very very curious person. And when I see opportunities, I
You
take
grab it.
advantage of them. So I was watching television someday, and then I saw GH1 started. They were launching, they were introducing a new phase of their programs. So I saw Bukum Banku. He was going to read the news. It was the title of the program was, I think, Bukum Banku Life, and the focus was slums and development.
Good.
Slums and development, and I could identify myself with, of course, slum Zongo. I grew up in Zongo.
Yeah.
In development, I worked in the development sector for quite some time with the British Idol, so I could identify myself. So what next? So while he was being interviewed, we understand that, or I understood that he was going to, they wanted to change his personality. So, so I saw that was an opportunity. So the following day, I was watching the repeat again. And then the Holy Spirit said to me, go and give this guy ties. So then I didn't even waste time. I just went in there, I selected some ties, I took my bath, I went straight to, GH1. To be honest, I went there not with the intention of meeting anyone. I just wanted to go and drop the ties at the reception and then move. So I got to the reception and I told this guy, this is what I want to do. And the guy was like, no, I need to talk to someone. So he went in there and came back and said that boss is calling me. I didn't know who boss was. When I went, it was Bola Ray.
Hey.
It was like, sit down. So I sat down and we spoke. And he was really touched because nobody had approached them and all of that. So he picked the phone. There was like, he called Nanaba. So he asked me to go downstairs and meet Nanaba. I went there. Nanaba was very, very excited. But it was because I obeyed, the Holy Spirit to move at that time.
So everything just worked perfectly according to God's plan.
So I told them this is what I do and this is my little support. And they were very, very excited. They were very nice. Nanaba was really, really nice to me and all of that. And then that's it. So we started styling Bukum Banku. So it wasn't like I have a connection. I had a connection there. I met
I'm smiling for you. I am really proud of you. Honestly, I am.
And I believe that whenever God gives you an idea, He brings the right people your way. He brings the right people your way to make it happen. That is when you know that it is God. But this happened because I obeyed. So imagine if I never started OM4G and I never started Opulence Ties. I was never going to meet any of these guys. Now, mind you, Bolare is somebody I've admired when it comes to events. When it comes to events, I love Bolare because let me tell you, even OM4G, the empty tomb we do every year where we bring an artist, I got the concept from him. He does this event called Ghana Meets Nigeria.
Oh yeah, also that's him.
That's him, So I saw that and I was like, okay, he's bringing Nigeria to Ghana, but I'm going to bring the world to Ghana. So that's how come it started. So he started bringing Nigerian artists to Ghana. So I started bringing people from US, South Africa, Kenya, and all of that. So I got inspiration from his events, and I've watched him closely. But you see how God I met him through by obeying what he asked me to do.
The Holy Spirit, right.
I think, that's it, yeah.
Wow. So let me know, did you ever have any rejections from the guests you try to reach out to outside of Ghana? Are there any guests out there who probably were like, no, I'm not interested, I'm not coming down, no?
Funny enough, I was saying the Lord has been faithful. Anytime we reach out to people and we tell them who we are, they are interested to want to come to Africa.
Okay.
Because, spoken word is huge in America. Of course, we're talking about the David Boulding, the big guys, and some of them have always wanted to come to Africa, but they didn't know how. So anytime we reach out to them, then they will confirm that they were praying some time ago and then the word came to them that they were going to come to Africa. So once we reach out, it was very, very easy. Again, like I said, there's this perception that these are big people, you can't, and all of that. as for me, once
My mind is there. It's a wrap.
I move. I don't waste time because it's not about you. The work of God must be done. It's not about you. And if God is using you to do the work, to do His work, it's a blessing. It's a privilege. He could have used any other person. So if God has asked me to reach you, to be a blessing to us and to everyone, who are you to be accused? He arrests your heart even before I get in touch. I remember David Bowden. David Bowden is one of the biggest spoken artists in the US. I've been chasing this guy for the past 3 years. Just last year I was there, and then he sent me and said, like, Derick, the time for me to come to Ghana is now. So I want to come to Ghana. I never paid anything. I didn't pay for his flight, nothing. The only thing I paid was his accommodation. That was it. And we had David Bowden, and today we are friends, and we talk every now and then. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
God is really using you.
It's good.
He is really using you, and I like the fact that you're open to that service. You're really, really open to it. You're humble. That's one of the major things I like about you, Derick. You're really humble, even to your friends. So, it's
Thank you very much. Yeah.
The way I've known you for years, so that's one thing I can say for sure about you.
and I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity. Honestly, I think one thing I just want to share quickly is that I think in our time and our generation, people don't like to serve. Service. When I talk about service, I'm also talking about volunteering. The easiest way to get a job in the world is through volunteering. The easiest way to meet anyone, the easiest way to be able to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve is through volunteering service.
Right.
And for me, every great opportunity I've had is as a result of service. And it's not about qualification, it's not about degree or whatever. It's service. Once you understand this, I think that's it. So if there's anything I just want to share with everyone, service. And when you're serving and when you're giving out something, don't expect money. Money. A best sense is here.
And it's not just even money. Just don't expect anything in return.
Just don't
do your part.
Just do it.
Right.
Just do it. And for me, I think that has been one of my greatest weapons. I don't lie to you, aside prayer and everything. All the people I've met, all the things I've done, all the privileges I've enjoyed is as a result of service. And if there's another gift I want to pray to God for, I'll still pray for service. And so I think that's all I want to say. So if you're a young person out there, you want a job, you want whatever it is, just volunteer. And by the time you leave, they will call you back. They won't even let you leave. Once they know what you can.
You might not even, You're stuck.
No sensible business owner will get someone who can work for him for free and then let the person go. Especially or considering what the person can bring to the table. So that's my secret. I don't lie to you, that's my secret. I volunteer a lot, Even among my colleagues, sometimes I go and wash my friends' cars, just to say thank you for your support. Just say thank you for the positive impact you've made in my life. Even I'm sure if you had to be in Ghana, I would have washed your car by now.
No, you won't wash my car.
Yes, because it's there's nothing wrong, but people feel that why would I wash this person? No, I've done crazy stuff, when it comes to it, and I love it, and I thank God for this spirit. Yeah.
Wow. I really appreciate you coming today, Derick. Really. I know I've known you for years, but there's still this thing and this respect I have for you, regardless of the friendship, the brotherly love, and all that stuff. Like, I must say that you're somebody I respect so much, and I want you to know today that I really admire your hard work and your commitment to making sure the gospel is out there. That's one major thing I respect about you. So I want to appreciate you today for coming and for supporting me as always as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm grateful, and for you to even consider me. But again, I think it's very important.
More to come.
I think let me also put this on record, and I hope you record it as well. I just want to say a very special thank you to my parents. I think they've been very, very, very supportive, and my siblings as well. My elder sister, especially Dosia. I remember Dosia, right?
Yeah.
She's been very, 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 very supportive. I have a very close cousin called Van. He's also been very, very supportive. and to also my spiritual father,
Okay.
Reverend Impactosei Mediapo of Grace Citadel Church International, together with the wife, Mrs. Lois Osai Mediapo. They've been a great blessing in my life. I mean, he's really taught me great stuff, things that will eternally live with me. And also Uncle Bijou of ICGC, Calvary Temple Youth Church. I mean, thank you so much, Uncle Bijou, wherever you are. God bless you so much. I mean, he was the first person who gave us platform to make OM4J, I mean, physical. You know, I remember he was the first person I spoke to when we started OM4J. He encouraged us, gave us platform. He pushed us, you know, and anytime we called him to represent or to play a role in our event, he comes and then he does it very, very well. So thank you so much, Uncle Bijou. And to OM4JT, Maoli especially, Evans, you know, everyone, Blake, Joshua, every single person, Elikem, every single person. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for your love and loyalty to the vision. God bless you all.
So thank you all for tuning in today. I really appreciate you staying with us and listening to Derick. He's an amazing person. If you guys want to check him out, I'll put all that in the description box so you guys can follow him. There's a lot to learn from him. He's definitely an inspiration and one that can definitely mentor. Make sure you subscribe before dropping off. And as always, thanks, Derick. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So I'll see you guys in the next video.